By the time I post this, the situation may have changed. Let's chat a little bit about Bo Horvat, and I know I've talked a lot about the Canucks lately, but let's talk about Bo Horvat. These are his stats for his 3 seasons. They're not awe-inspiring. 20 goals this past season, 52 points. But there's more to it than that. So, his first year, he shows signs of being a really, really strong two-way forward. Plays less minutes. Does relatively well. 25 points in 68 games is respectable. In the 15-16 season, he has a horrible first half. His plus-minus is in the tank. Defensive games in the tank. He's asked to play more minutes than he really should. And there's a lot of talk about maybe Bo's just not that guy. Maybe we overestimated him. There were plenty of non-Canuck fans jumping on board, and Canuck fans jumping on board and said, guy's a bust. Guy sucks. He's a bust. It's done. He's over. By the end of the year, he's pulled himself up to a 40-point total in 82 games. And it's respectable. It's a respectable second year, and his totals for the second year are good enough to make you kind of forget the rookie year, which was also good. And it wipes out that first half of the season. This past season, under very difficult circumstances, in 80 games, he puts up 52 points. And I say under difficult circumstances because it was obvious right away, and I know the Canucks went on that winning streak at the start of the year, but it was obvious right away this team was going to be in trouble. Now, here's the problem. So, it's rumored that the Canucks are working on a 2 to 3 year bridge deal. Now, I've advocated for bridge deals before. It's likely that Horvat wants 6 to 7 year deal that will buy up his cap or his free UFA years, and then you can add whatever number you want in here. 6 to 7 years at say 5, maybe 6. You might even want $7 million. And I've talked to fans about this before on this page and online, and here's the issue for me. So, we can't tell the future. None of us can. If we could, we'd all be rich millionaires and we wouldn't be watching this, or I wouldn't be making this. So, let's say next year, let's say they go to 3-year bridge. He averages 50 to 55 points. That bridge deal, not bad. But if he hops up to 65, 70 points, that bridge deal then pays him out big time, because then he gets the 6 or 7 years in 2 to 3. Teams have started doing this before the bridge deal, in part because players don't want bridge deals anymore, and in part because they don't want to be paying out for this. The trick that comes in then is you have to balance out your risk and reward. And I don't know that there's GMs that are doing that enough. I think the fact that any player now who's had one good season, and let's be honest, Bo Horvat has had one very good season in the NHL. He had a solid rookie year, and he had a good half season in 15-16. He's now worth a 7-year deal for potentially a minimum of $5 million a year, and that's minimum. That's a lot of money for a guy who's had one good year. And I love Bo Horvat. Make no mistake about it. He is my favorite player in the NHL. And I say that, and then I think, what about Bergeron? And then you got McAvoy's going to get in there, and then there's a lot of players I like. But for my money, he's going to get better. This 52 is going to be a low benchmark. 5 years from now, he'll be 60, 65 points a year. 70 is being generous. But I think he can hit 60 to 65 points on the basis of two facts. One, he's a very good, hard-working two-way player. And two, the Canucks don't have the depth to push him down the chart. And that's the other problem. So, let's say they give him the 6 or 7 year contract, and they give him $6 million a year. And then Patterson and Dolan come over. What if they push him down? Plus, let's say they tank this year. Let's just go wild. The Canucks get the number 1 draft pick next year, and they grab Svechnikov. And then because they've got all these good young players coming in, they land Tavares. Let's go crazy. Horvat gets pushed down the lineup. Maybe 50 points is his max. for me, as a fan, I like the 2 to 3 year bridge contracts. I get why players don't take them, and I know you guys are going to try to make arguments in the comment section below. And for Zach Boychuk, I know you're going to make... Zach Boychuk following me on Instagram caught me off guard this morning. It's his real account, I looked. But to me anyways, the 2 to 3 year bridge contract makes more sense. For this situation. 6 to 7 years makes more sense to me when you know what you're getting. Bo, we're not sure. We don't know the high and the low for Bo Horvat. We don't know where he's going to establish himself. He's still in the process of doing this. He could come out next year, score 30 goals, 40 assists, 70 points, and a 6 or 7 year contract at $6 million per looks fantastic. But he could easily stay at this level. The benefit the Canucks have is they won't have a cap problem. Right now they do. Right now they got less than $6 million in cap space, but that's more a mirage than anything because they've got 14 or 15 forwards right now, and there's no way 15 forwards are being kept by this team. So guys are going to get waived. There's guys who are going to get picked up on waivers, and they'll have their money to sign Horvat. As a Horvat fan, give him six years. I won't complain if it's 6 years. But if the rumor that it's a 2 to 3 year bridge is true, then fine. Here's the thing. So, some guy named Trevor Linden came out and said, we don't have a deal done. Horvat's agent came out and said, we don't have a deal done. Jason Abbotsford came out and said, I hear it's a done deal. So it's a matter of who you're going to believe. The player's agent, the president of the team, or Jason Abbotsford. I don't doubt that Abbotsford has sources. He has a hell of a lot more than I do. I have this many. But actually, you know what? I really can't say that now. Every now and then I'll get like an email or a message from somebody who says, did you know this happened? And it's stuff that I can't report on the channel. But yeah, so I can't say I don't have sources. I don't have direct player sources within teams. That'd be awesome, but I don't have it. But again, I know he has sources I don't have. But I'm going to take the word of Linden and Bo Horvat's agent. I could see Linden lying about it. I could see Linden lying about it and having Horvat rolled out as the face of the franchise. But that only makes sense if it's a 6 or 7 year deal, doesn't it? Are you going to roll him out there in this big press conference for a 2 or 3 year deal? I don't think so. 2 or 3 year deal, you report, TSN reports it out, and then you do just interviews after, go, yeah, that's fine. When it's a 6 or 7 year contract, you have this big deal like this is the face of our franchise moving forward, and this is the guy. Because really, when you look at the Canucks, in terms of face of the franchise, Horvat's the next captain. Horvat's the face of the franchise. Because you really don't have anybody else on the current roster who can be that. Let's look at the Tanev question. If they don't trade Tanev, Tanev's not it. He's not a face of the franchise type guy. And outside of that, you have Besser. Besser's played 9 games in the NHL. Let's not put too much pressure on this kid. You're the face of the franchise. And that's when former Canucks go, yeah, that's what happens. They put unrealistic expectations on everybody. So that's the face of the franchise, at least until Pettersson's made the team. But we don't know what Pettersson is either. This, again, comes back into it all loops back into I don't want to put too much pressure on or put too much stock into prospects. Because that's crazy. It's all about Horvat. Let me know what you think he's worth. Let me know what you think he's getting. And do you think he's signed? I don't think so. I think he's still going to get signed, but the longer they wait, I think the more expensive it gets. And I'm one of those fans who thinks that if they wait and do a bridge contract, they do a 2 or 3 year contract, I think it's going to cost them a hell of a lot more 3 years from now to keep him. But it's a risk. Some teams take that risk. Most players are unwilling to take that risk now. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And I promise for non-Canuck fans, this is the last Canuck topic that's going to be broached until he's signed to a contract. Remember, and I've talked to people about this in the offseason, the teams that are going to be reported on the most are going to be the ones that are making the most moves, And train wrecks are always more interesting than the top of the league. Like when you look at some of the best teams, they haven't really had to make big moves because they're good, they're set. Once the regular season starts, yeah, the teams at the top are going to get a hell of a lot more press on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.